Namaste, dear students. Welcome to Diksha Online Bridge course. Subject is physics, and today we are going to discuss some numericals from the topic work, energy, and power. During the previous tutorial session, we solved some simple straightforward problems where in the data the mass, velocity, height, acceleration, etc. were given directly. We were able to substitute in the standard formulas and get the answer. Today, we will look into a slightly higher order numericals. We all know that work done is the dot product of force and displacement. Force and displacement are both vectors. How to find the work done when they both are given in the vector form? So here I have a vector A which is equal to 4i cap minus 3j cap plus 2k cap. I am supposed to find the magnitude of this vector. Why do I need this? While solving the problems with vectors, some cases I might need the representation of vector in the form of unit vectors, and also in some cases we might need the magnitude. So how do we find that? Usually what we have come across so far is a vector has a magnitude, let's say for example 5 Newton acting along northeast. Here 5 Newton represents the magnitude, northeast represents the direction. This is one simple basic way of representing a vector. The same vector, let's say this is the vector A, it makes an angle theta with the horizontal. It can be resolved into two components. One is AX, the other one is AY. AX is the component of the vector A along the horizontal. AY is the component of A along the vertical. In order to represent them as vectors, I call it as AX into I cap, AY into J cap. I and J are unit vectors along X and Y axis. Therefore, vector A can also be rewritten as AX into I cap plus AY into J cap. Say for example, our 5 Newton can be resolved into 3 Newton and 4 Newton. It's not necessary it should be 3 and 4. It basically depends on the angle theta. So if this is 4 units, this is 3 units, this can be written as 3i cap plus 4j cap. Now, how do I find the magnitude of a given vector? So here the difference between this and this is, here the vector is in 2D, it has only the coordinates x and y. Here it also has the third direction along the z-axis. The basic formula to find the magnitude of a vector is, suppose there is a vector A represented as AX into I cap plus AY into J cap plus AZ into K cap. Then the magnitude of the vector A is given by square root of whatever is the coefficient of I cap, AX square, plus whatever is the coefficient of J cap, AY square, plus whatever is the coefficient of K cap, AZ square. This is how we find the magnitude of the given vector. So comparing the given vector and finding the magnitude of vector A, I will get, instead of AX, I will have to write 4 square, plus instead of AY, I have to take minus 3 whole square. Instead of AZ, 2 square. This will be square root of 16 plus 9 plus 4. So magnitude of the vector A is equal to Square root of 69, 16 plus 9 is 25. 25 plus 4 is 29. Square root of 29 units. Suppose A represents displacement, the unit here would have been meter. If A represents force, the unit would have been Newton. So I will do one more problem so that we are more confident about finding the magnitude. Suppose there is a vector which is given by 5i cap plus 2j cap minus 3k cap. How do I find the magnitude of this? It is the basic simple formula. Magnitude of A is equal to root of 5 square plus 2 square plus minus 3 the whole square. The coefficient of k is minus 3. This will be square root of 25 plus 4 plus 9. This will be 25 plus 4 is 29. It will be square root of 38 units. So this is how we find the magnitude of a given vector. I hope you all were able to follow this. Now I have two vectors. I have to find their resultant. Two vectors A equal to so much and B equal to so much act on a body. Find the resultant. So we know that if there is a vector A and there is a vector B such that the end point of one is the starting point of the other, then the resultant of the two is given by the third side taken in the reverse order. This is triangle law. On the other hand, if the terminal point of one is not the initial point of the other, then if the starting points are same, this is vector A, this is vector B, we need to complete the parallelogram. The diagonal will give you the resultant. Then the resultant magnitude is given by the relation r square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab into cos theta, where theta is the angle between the two vectors here, or it is the angle between their directions. Now in our problem, no doubt I can find the magnitude of A and B, but the angle between the two is not known. Then how do I find the resultant? The resultant here is given by R vector is equal to A vector plus B vector. This will be equal to, when you are adding these two, keep I common. Whatever is the coefficient of I in both the vectors, add them. 2 plus 3 plus, keep j vector common. Whatever is the coefficient of j in two vectors, add them. 3 plus 2. So this will be 5i cap plus 5j cap. This will be the resultant vector. This is represented both in magnitude as well as direction. I cap and j cap are giving the direction actually. Now if you want to find the magnitude, R magnitude is equal to square root of 5 square plus 5 square, that is equal to square root of 25 plus 25. Therefore, the magnitude of the resultant equal to square root of 50 units. Again, as I said, if the two vectors are representing force, the unit will be Newton. If they both are representing velocity, The unit will be meter per second. Let us solve one more problem. Let us suppose vector A is equal to I cap minus j cap plus k cap, and vector B is equal to 2i plus 3j minus 2k. Find the resultant. R vector is equal to, in both of them, if I take I common factor, I have 1 here, I have 2 here, 1 plus 2. Plus, if I take j common factor, here I have minus 1, here I have 3. Plus, if I take k common out, here I have plus 1. In the second equation, I have minus 2. So this will be 3i cap plus 2j cap minus k cap. This is the resultant vector, which we call it as r equal to a plus b. So my dear students, understand that if this is vector a, this is vector b, then when you complete the parallelogram, this will give you the resultant. This is called as vector A plus vector B. The opposite diagonal will give you the R equal to vector A minus vector B. So to find this, between these two, just how I have done the addition, you need to do the subtraction. I hope the doubt that you had related to the resultant, and you also have learned how to find the resultant when two vectors are given in the unit vector form. Can we move on to the next concept or the next problem? Now I have been given two vectors. Vector A equal to so much. A vector is equal to 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap, and vector B equal to so much. You need to find the dot product between the two. Suppose if there was a vector A and there was a vector B like this, their directions are at an angle theta. Then it was very easy to find the dot product. A dot B is equal to mod of A mod of B into cos theta. Now between the two vectors, I can find mod A, I can find mod B, but what about cos theta? I can't do it. So how do I find the dot product? So in this case, your A vector dot B vector will be equal to, you just multiply these two vectors algebraically, like how you do a term with equation with x, y and z multiplied with another x, y and z. As you multiply there, here also you are going to follow the same format. Let's say for example, a dot b is equal to ax into I cap plus ay into j cap plus az into k cap dot bx into I cap plus by into j cap plus bz into k cap. You need to multiply this with all the terms. You need to multiply the second term here with all the terms. You have to multiply this with all the terms in the second vector. While doing, you will come across I dot I, j dot j, k dot k, etc. So what is this I dot I equal to? I hope you remember we solved these problems. I dot I is equal to mod of I into cos theta. Mod of I is 1, mod of I is 1. The angle between the two is 0 because they both are along the x-axis. Cos 0 is 1, 1 into 1 into 1 is 1. Similarly, your j dot j will be equal to k dot k. They both are also equal to 1. On the other hand, if I find I dot j, this will be mod of I mod of j into cos 90. Because I and j are along x and y axis, the angle between the two is 90 degree, cos 90 is 0. So in the same way, your j dot I dot k and k dot I, the three will be equal to 0. In the same way, j dot k and k dot j, they also will be equal to 0. So the dot product between identical unit vectors will be 1. Of the unpaired unit vectors, it will be equal to 0. So if I have to find the dot product of the given two vectors, how do I do it? A vector dot B vector is equal to, I have to multiply these two vectors now, 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap dot 3i cap plus 2j cap minus k cap. This will be equal to, first take 2i, multiply with the 3 terms on the second vector. So for that, the first multiplication, 2 into 3 I dot I plus 2 into 2 I dot j. This 2 into this k term plus 2 into minus 1 into I dot k. Now take the second term, minus 1 into 3 j dot I plus minus 1 into 2 j dot j plus minus 1 into minus 1. There is a minus 1 here, there is a minus 1 here, into j dot k plus, now take 3k, 3 into 3 k dot I plus 3 into 2 k dot j plus 3 into minus 1 k dot k. So now if I look at these terms, I dot j, I dot k, j dot I, j dot k, k dot I, k dot j, this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, 0, 0. I dot I is 1, 3, 2, 6 plus j dot j is 1, minus 2. K dot k is 1, minus 3. This will be 1 joule. A dot B here is equal to 1 joule if A and B are force and displacement. Otherwise, you simply call it as 1 unit. Whatever is the relevant unit of A and B can be written there. This is how the dot product of two vectors can be found. So to give you more clarity, let me take one more vector. Vector A is equal to I cap plus j cap plus k cap. B vector is equal to minus 2 I cap plus 2j cap minus 2k cap. How do we find the dot product of the two? A vector dot B vector is equal to I plus j plus k dot minus 2I plus 2j minus 2k. So this will be equal to, first I take I, 1 into minus 2 I dot I, then plus 1 into 2 I dot j plus 1 into minus 2 I dot k plus, now I am taking j, 1 into minus 2 j dot I plus 1 into 2 j dot j plus 1 into minus 2 j dot k plus, now multiply the second vector with the coefficient of k, 1 into minus 2 k dot I plus 1 into 2 k dot j plus 1 into minus 2 k dot k. In this, I dot j, I dot k, j dot I, j dot k, k dot I, k dot j. These terms will be equal to 0. When I take the remaining terms, this will be minus 2 I dot I equal to 1. This will be 2 ones 2 j dot j equal to 1. So plus 2. This is k dot k equal to 1 minus 2 into 1 will be minus 2. So the answer will be minus 2 units. This is how you are going to find the dot product between two vectors if the vectors are given in the form of unit vectors. Now let's move on to the next problem. A force of I minus 4j acts on a body causing a displacement of 2I plus 2j. Find the work done by the force. Here, this is the F vector. This is the S vector. F vector is equal to I minus 4j. S vector is equal to 2I plus 2j. Now the work done is equal to F vector dot S vector. So the work done will be equal to, this will be I minus 4j dot 2I plus 2j. So when I multiply first these two, 1 into 2 I dot I plus 1 into 2 I dot j. Now take this term plus minus 4 into 2 j dot I plus minus 4 into 2 j dot j. This will be equal to, this term is 0 because I dot j is 0, j dot I is 0. These terms are going to be equal to 0. So this is 2 because I dot I is 1. This is minus 4 into 2 minus 8. J dot j equal to 1. So the answer will be minus 6 joules. So how did I get the negative sign? The negative sign indicates the work is done against the force. Suppose you are climbing up a hill. The force is pushing the ground down. The displacement will be in the upward direction. Maybe these two were opposite in direction. That is why the work done is negative. The work done is minus sign indicates that work is done against the force. To have more comfort in solving such problems, let us solve one more problem. Suppose the force acting on the body is equal to I cap plus 2j cap minus k cap. It produces a displacement of S is equal to 2I cap plus k cap. Now here I have not deliberately given the j vector. It indicates the magnitude along the y-axis is equal to 0. Now the work done is given by F dot S, that is equal to I plus 2j minus k dot 2I plus k. So this will be equal to, when I multiply these two, 1 into 2 I dot I plus, I multiply these two terms, 1 into 2, sorry, 1 into 2 is done. I multiply I with k. So this is 1 into 1 I dot k plus, now 2j with the other two terms, 2 into 2 j dot I plus 2 into 1 j dot k plus minus 1 into 2 minus 1 into 2 k dot I plus minus 1 into 1 k dot k. So we will cross check once again. 1 into 2, 1 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 1, minus 1 into 2, minus 1 into 1. So here I dot k, j dot I, j dot k dot I will all be equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. What is left out here is I dot I is 1, 1 into 2 equal to 2. Then here I have 1 into minus 1 is minus 1. This will be equal to 1 joule. The work done in this case is equal to 1 joule. I hope you got the clarity in finding the dot product. Now this is a different type of a problem where the displacement of the particle is given. We have to find the kinetic energy. Here, the displacement of a particle of mass 0.3 kg is given by this equation. Find the kinetic energy of the particle when the time is. This is not fire, this is time. There is a typo error, and again here it is not capital K, it is small k. So the given data is mass equal to 0.3 kg, your displacement y equal to 5 sine t. You have to find what is the kinetic energy when the time is equal to pi by 3. To find kinetic energy, we have the formula kinetic energy equal to half m into v square. Mass is given. How about the velocity? It is not given. So what I will do is I will take y equal to 5 sine t. Differentiate it with respect to time. Dy by dt is equal to, on differentiating this, 5 is a constant, differentiation of sine is cos. We all know that y is displacement, t is time. Rate of displacement dy by dt, small displacement in a small time, is nothing but velocity. V equal to 5 cos t. We want the velocity and kinetic energy when the time is pi by 3. V when time equal to pi by 3. This will be 5 cos pi by 3. Pi by 3 is 60 degree. Cos 60 equal to 1 by 2. 5 into 1 by 2. This will be 2.5. Usually, when displacement is given like this, they will mention y is in meter and t is in seconds, or y is in centimeter, t is in second. Whatever they give, we need to follow. Now, I am giving you y is in meter, t is in second, so this will be meter per second. Substitute here, kinetic energy will be half 0.3 into 2.5 square. This will be 0.15 into 6.25. Approximately, this value turns out to be 0.9 joules. So whenever the displacement is given and you need to find the kinetic energy, we will need the value of velocity. So what is the trick to solve this problem is, suppose they give y. Y is a function of time. Here y was depending on time according to 5 sine t. In some other problem the relationship may be different. Then in order to find what is the kinetic energy, you need to know what is the velocity, half mv square. Then find what is dy by dt equal to how much. This is nothing but your velocity. So in order to gain more confidence in solving such problem, let us attempt one more problem. The displacement of a body of mass 4 kg at any instance of time is given by the relation S equal to 2t square plus 3t minus 5 meter. Find the kinetic energy at the end of 2 seconds. So what is given in the data is mass of the body equal to 4 kg, displacement S equal to 2t square plus 3t minus 5. At the end of 2 seconds, t is equal to 2 seconds, you need to find what is the kinetic energy. You know that kinetic energy equal to half m into v square. Mass is given, velocity is not given, so use the relation S equal to 2t square plus 3t minus 5. Differentiate it with respect to time. ds by dt is equal to 2 into differentiation of t square will be 2t 2 minus 1 plus 3 into 1 t power 1 minus 1. Now differentiation of a constant will be equal to 0. This is 4t. Anything power 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything power 0 equal to 1. So plus 3. ds by dt is nothing but velocity. We got the velocity of the body when the time equal to t seconds. Find out what is the velocity when the time equal to 2 seconds. V when time equal to 2 seconds will be 4 into 2 plus 3. This is 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 meter per second. So if you look at the data here, S is in meter, time is in second. 11 meter per second. At the end of 2 seconds, velocity is so much. So your kinetic energy will be half into mass is 4, velocity is 11, 11 square. This is 2 ones, 2 times 2 into 121. This will be on multiplying 242 joules. This will be the kinetic energy. In the same way, the displacement can have many many functions of time. Just you need to understand, you need to differentiate that to get the velocity. We will move on to the next problem. This is a problem based on the graphical representation of force and position. In the problem, a horizontal net force F is exerted on an object which is at rest. The object starts at the position x equal to 0 and has a speed of 4 meter per second. The speed is 4 meter per second after traveling 4 meter along the horizontal frictionless surface. If the net force F as a function of the object's position is shown below, find the mass of the body. So here there is a body of mass m. When the time equal to 0, it is at x equal to 0. It is initially at rest. Now the force acts on the body. Here according to the problem, there is a net force F. And the force F is also changing with position. That force F acts on the body moves. As the body is moving, it attains a position x equal to 4. So at x equal to 4, the final velocity of the body is 4 meter per second. You need to find with this data what is the mass of the body. So how do I find? If you look at the graph is plotted with force along the y-axis and position along the x-axis. What happens in such a graph? So here, if the x-axis represents the position, y-axis represents the force. Let the graph be like this. With position, the force is varying according to this relation. Now the work done by the force is given by dot product of force into displacement. How do I find it here? In this case, by graphical method, find the area enclosed by the graph here, which is a straight line, and the x-axis. This area will give me the work done. The area below the graph will give you the work done. From where to where? From the position 0 to x. So here it may be a trapezium, it may be a triangle, it may be a square. The area will give you the work done between 0 to x meters. So in our graph, if I want to find what is the work done, so from 0 to 8 meters, The work done is given by the area of this rectangle. So the total work done is equal to force is 30, displacement is equal to 8. This will be equal to 240 joules. This is not asked in the problem. I have just explained it so that you become familiar with the graph. Now, what is asked in the problem is at x equal to 4 meters, the velocity is 4 meter per second. Find the mass of the body. So what I will do is I will find the area of this rectangle. When I find the area of this rectangle, I will get to know the work done by the force for a displacement from 0 to 4. Then I can write the work done is equal to the area between 0 to 4, that is 30 into 4 meters. 30 into 4 will be equal to 120 joules. So from the graph, I understood that when the force acted on the body to displace it from x equal to 0 to x equal to 4, it has done this much of work. Where did that work go? Where did that energy spent go? It appears in the form of kinetic energy. The body gained the velocity. So this should be equated to half m into v square. The work done by the force is not increasing the height, but it is increasing the velocity. Therefore, the body is gaining the kinetic energy. Hence, I am replacing work done with kinetic energy. On cross multiplying the terms, m is equal to 2 into 120 divided by v square. V is 4, 4 into 4. So this is once, this is 2 times. This is once, this is 30 times. This is once, this is 15 times. So the mass of the block or the body is equal to 15 kilograms. This is how we find the mass of the body using the graphical method. To share one more point with you all, what if the graph was plotted with the velocity along x-axis, force along the y-axis? The graph may be like this. Then what happens? If you look at the definition of power, power is equal to the rate of doing work. That is, work done divided by time taken. Work done can be written as force into displacement divided by time taken. Displacement by time is nothing but velocity. Force into velocity also represents the power. So I can conclude that the area under force and velocity graph will give you the work done. So sorry, power. This will give you the power. So in the two graphs, what I understand is if the graph it is force versus displacement, then the area gives work done. Suppose the graph is F versus V, then the area gives power. The area will give you the power. This is a small hint for you to solve problems if the y-axis has force and x-axis has the velocity. So this is what I had to discuss in today's class. Let's catch up in tomorrow in the tutorial session after another 10 minutes to solve few more numericals. Till then, take care. Have a nice time.